easy it is for comments to come up because they're going to show up, but they're going to be a little bit different.
Okay.
Live chat. Okay. All right. So here's what I'll.
Yeah.
Do you have YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna go search for it under YouTube. Okay. So we'll see how this works. We'll make it work. Okay. Sacula pronunciation. Okay. Let's go ahead and head to this channel. That's the old one. Validity podcast stream 6 days ago. Okay. So this one is the live one. It says video 6 watching.
I don't understand any of this.
Okay. Here we go. Share. Copy link. Okay. Go to your Facebook real quick. I don't know where it is.
Ah!
Okay, gotcha. So here's what we're gonna do is go to John's page, okay? Okay. Here is the new link for the working.
This kind of sucks.
Yeah, I know. It'll be fine. The working version. Vetsian.
You need to learn how to spell.
I don't know how to spell. I'll never learn how to spell.
Bummer.
It is a bummer,
It's
isn't
a bummer.
it? Let's see. How do you paste?
Paste.
Oh, that's post right there.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Those are. You need to learn how to read.
I know.
Okay.
Did that do what you wanted it to?
Yes. So.
Okay.
Because now we're streaming. We're good.
Okay.
I just hope people see this one. Let's go to the Blue Lady podcast as well too. Are you a moderator of the Blue Lady podcast?
Yes,
you know?
you put me there.
Okay.
And I've never done anything to it, but it is. What did you do?
I don't know. I went to the wrong thing. I don't know how to use a phone. I don't know how to use that phone. Go back to Facebook. Go to Blue Lady. Just paste that exact same link.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be. This is.
All right. Did I do that right?
I don't know. I wasn't looking. Maybe. Let's find out. It's gonna take forever to scroll through. Visitor posts. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. That's.
Yay!
So,
Look what I did.
you did it.
Thanks to me.
I know. I'm thankful for you.
You should be.
So nobody's in here just yet.
Yeah, because I don't know what just happened. We fucked up.
So I'm not sure if I can like leave the podcasting to go do this without like disrupting it. So that's why I'm trying to figure out like.
Fuck, man. I don't know.
Because nobody's here. Here, let's do this real quick. We're gonna put on the hotspot real quick so I can check
Okay.
to see. Okay. Just loaded the page. Oh, I might close the thing. It's all stupid. Okay. This is gonna be the worst episode we've done.
All right.
Okay. Okay, so you can see it. Can you enable the hotspot real quick? Okay, so you can see it. Okay. Can you enable the hotspot real quick? So I'm gonna repost it. Okay. Oh wow. Now it's getting all. Oh, 2 people are here. Maybe one of them's you. Okay. Oh, 2 people are here. Maybe one of them's you. Keep turning the volume down, otherwise it's gonna go into a feedback loop forever and ever. Okay. Sorry, I'm not trying to be demanding.
That's okay. No, I just.
Yeah, this is complicating itself for no good reason. Okay, so let's go ahead.
This is why I said maybe we need to go to the store.
That's true. Okay, so there's a couple people watching. We're gonna go ahead and make sure. I'm gonna repost this.
Starting over?
No, same thing. We're gonna post the one we're at because a couple people have joined in, but I'm not positive who. So, hiya guys. I'm cool because Kellen's here.
Hi.
Okay. Let's see. All right, I can't type it all. I'm gonna do that. Uploading a 10-word sentence. Okay. All right. Gonna post this. No. There we go. Okay. All right. So now hopefully that'll get more people into it properly. We can go ahead and close that other thing down, and you don't have to worry about that anymore. So okay. So we should theoretically be good. We'll find out if we are, and it will be exciting. So
It will be exciting.
it'll be a little bit more difficult to read the unless you want to keep it open on the that page so you can see comments as they come. Because right now, since we're on the phone here, comments will pop up, but they won't stay up
Okay.
for us. So
Okay.
unless, let's see, no, unfortunately, that isn't gonna be a good way to do that. Okay. So, all right, so here we are. This is 6 minutes in.
Sorry.
Let's see, are we
I'm
done watching the
sorry.
close-up of John's favorite little black dress? No,
What?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. We should be good now, though. We should be
Okay.
good. Oh my gosh, I'm rumbling the table,
Okay.
which causes that to.
Well, technically now we can go anywhere.
That's true. Let's see. Did Greg make it over from the last one? Greg. Maybe. So you can keep this up, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we've got access to the chat as
we
necessary.
we can technically move.
Do you want to?
Yes.
To where?
I don't know, somewhere else. Well, because we keep shaking. Nah. Because the microphone is there, so we'll just.
Well, the mic's hooked up to the computer, not the.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is meaningless.
This is the worst thing.
This is the. I should go anywhere. The sky's the limit.
This is why I told you we need to go to GA.
Well.
The sky is the limit.
Okay. All right. This will be fine. This will. In fact, I think it makes it more exciting. We're
All
roughing
right.
it.
Yes, this is extremely exciting.
Are you excited? Traveling podcast.
I guess so. Yeah.
Perhaps we might do a traveling podcast.
Yeah.
But anyway, no. Thank you guys for joining us this evening, even if we start late. I'm tired. I've had a headache all day. I've been trying to rest. It's been a long week, but I wanted to be here and I wanted to make sure that we were able
You
to do
said
this.
you weren't feeling good.
No, I woke up this morning with a bad headache and just wasn't feeling great. And
What'd you do all day?
I worked.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was at the store almost all day long.
Oh.
And then I went home and rested for a little bit. Then Errol and I went and got some food. Then came back home, rested some more to prepare for this because this is priority. I'm making this a priority.
Yes, this is a priority.
This is a priority.
Evidently, a really shoddy one.
Oh, you know. So next week maybe we can plan on that better.
Yeah, we're gonna plan this out better next week. We're really sorry.
You'll have to meet me at the store. What I can do because I'm going to be
That's
out
fine.
doing my other thing. And I'll probably just drive straight to the
planning.
store.
Well, that's what I was planning to do tonight. I thought we were gonna
Just
meet
to
at the store.
Meet me at the store?
Yeah.
No. We would take one car.
Yeah, evidently not, because we're at my house right now. So.
Your house is my third store.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have any video games, so I just sell, dresses. Handsome man right there.
Dresses.
Adolfo. That's my guy. That's my boy.
You're selling dresses.
Yeah, black ones.
My dresses. I do have a lot of little black dresses. That's true.
So, but just to double check, you actually had something kind of specific you wanted to talk about tonight.
I actually had a really, really interesting question posed to me that I thought was one of the more poignant ones that we have had, which had to do with, if I'm going to put it in just a nutshell, it has to do with when you're not quite ready for something on a deeper level, how do you deal with an attraction that's going on prior to that? So.
Okay. So when you're not ready for something, how do you deal with feeling
Yeah, you find someone attractive.
Yeah.
But you're aware that you're not ready for something, so you know that it could be coming from a codependent space.
You know?
And we've talked about codependency a lot and what that means.
Well, let's be honest. Let's talk about, not entirely about me, but my post Christina, I wasn't ready, and I tried. I wanted it because I didn't want to be lonely. I wanted companionship.
Yeah.
And I think too many times I did end up inserting myself into something that, like we discussed last week, wasn't necessarily good for me, but also ended up hurting other people because
Right.
I wasn't ready.
And I've done the same thing.
We've been
both done
there.
that.
Yeah, I'm sure many of us have been there before.
Right.
So how do you handle that? I mean, the situation is you know yourself and you acknowledge to yourself. You even say, I am not ready for this, but you feel something. You're attracted to somebody, but you know you're not good for them or ready for them.
And
or,
I know there's some codependency in the mix, so I know that this is not necessarily coming just from a space of, total authenticity, but
Mhm.
like wanting to secure something, wanting
Yeah.
to validate something within me.
That's a good way to put it, is to secure something. Sort of to say, whenever I'm ready, it's right here.
Yes.
And that's a really dangerous
Yes.
thing to do too, for
Yes.
yourself, especially somebody else.
Yes.
Is to try to put somebody on hold, layaway.
Layaway.
And there's something that also comes up too, and I'm sure as a woman you've probably felt this a ton more because men tend to do this because, let's face it, men are turds. And it's sort of like somebody's interested in you,
Yeah.
but you are unavailable. But they've still staked their claim, and so the moment you're ready, the moment you're available,
Yes.
they are owed your attention because
Yes.
they've put it out there, even if you have literally no interest or desire to have anything to do with it. And then
Yes.
they get upset, they get entitled, they get, well, you shouldn't have been leading me on, or well, I wanted this, and then sometimes name calling happens. You're a bitch, you're a slut, you're a whore. Totally unwarranted on every front.
It's extremely surprising. It's extremely surprising when somebody comes around that's like, excuse me, I've been waiting. Well, I don't give a fuck if you've been waiting.
I've been waiting, yeah, like you, that
I've been waiting.
you were owed
like,
something.
I was in line.
Yeah.
I was here first.
You put yourself in a line that did
Yeah.
not exist,
Yeah.
and you think you're owed something.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, it's
No, that's not a good feeling. Anyway.
I can imagine, because I don't think I've really experienced that with women, maybe once or twice, but I feel that women experience this so frequently.
It happens.
It's like
It happens.
clockwork.
Yes, and this isn't exactly what the question was about, so this is kind of tangential, but
Sure.
yes, I mean, you get these interesting, not just propositions, but almost like entitled demands,
Yeah.
requisitions,
Yeah.
as though the fact that you're single or you're available means for them.
For them.
For that one individual.
Yeah, I've been waiting.
Yes.
Therefore.
And it's kind of shocking, like, well, I didn't indicate in any way, shape, or form that
Yeah.
you're where I was going.
I wasn't
next,
aware of this.
and I wasn't going anywhere next. Like, wow.
Right, as if being single simply means that you're now ready.
Yes, I'm market
Instead of,
available.
instead of maybe one or 2 or 3 years to regain something,
Yeah.
that it's immediately like, well, I guess you're next in line,
Yeah.
therefore let me just. Yee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of extremely shocking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fascinating. So when you've been confronted, because inevitably you've been there.
Yes.
You've been to a point where post breakup, you're simply like, let's go ahead and do away with all of it. Focus on me.
Or not even post breakup. It doesn't even have to be post breakup.
So maybe in the middle of a relationship,
Well, it can be in the middle of a relationship. It can be in the middle of single. It could be at any point.
in the middle of a NASCAR race.
When somebody, and when I'm in a NASCAR race,
When
when I'm racing,
you're head to
when
head
I'm
against
driving-
Danica Patrick.
Well, I'm driving.
Oh, while you're driving.
I'm driving. I'm driving really fast. I'm
Okay.
busy. I don't have time.
Yeah.
To talk.
Yeah.
But somebody
Men
is like,
get outta
hey,
here.
hey,
Yeah.
I want to bang you. Be ready right now.
Be ready right now. Right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, and of course
feels
we
really good.
say this, and yeah, it does. It feels good to want really unattractive attention from people, right? That's what you're getting at. Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I think most women do. If me as a male were to guess.
The Me Too movement is a total front for the fact that we love being harassed.
You love unsolicited attention.
I want more of
inappropriate
it.
attention. Right, yeah,
if I could get more inappropriate attention that is completely disrespectful and objectifying of myself, that would make me a lot happier in
Right.
life.
That would make,
Yeah.
that's what people are really going for.
Yes.
Well, this is also, I mean, very pertinent today because we have the whole Kavanaugh hearing.
Yeah.
And it's really, it's loud and it's all over the place. And something that, I'm noticing a lot
I've
too.
not followed it well, so.
So I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it, so I'm mostly watching people's reactions and, a lot of people really proclaiming the bravery of Ford, which, God bless her, absolutely, to be able to stand up and risk literally everything. is a tremendously, for me, unfathomable feat. I am blown away by the tenacity and willpower and strength of this woman.
Yeah.
For having to stand up something that can literally destroy her. And it's terrifying to think of how many people are still sort of on the default of, well, there's no proof, therefore you're making a claim of whatever it's called. And God, the difficulty of being a woman is something I will never know. I can only hear about it and read about it and do my best to empathize and understand and listen to this whole thing. And so I know we sort of segued away from.
We did.
We'll
get back there.
Okay, we'll get back there.
Yeah. No,
but I want to say how impressive it is on two fronts, which is to see how many wonderful people I have in my life that have stood up and said, the default isn't to say, oh, well, you were asking for it, or you were, you should have said it, or 30 years ago, you should have done it right now, or, like trying to demean people. I've seen so many of my friends standing up for this and pushing forth and saying, yes, I believe you and I listen to you, and I want to make sure that your voice is heard. And there's still a tiny crack that has popped open of people that go, oh, well, due process, she could be lying. And people that are like, well, you also have to protect men, at the same time. And you also have to keep them in mind, as if, something that has literally nothing to do with men, they still have to pop in and go, oh yeah, but like, don't forget about me. Like, there's this weird sort of like fragility that pops in and goes, hey, by the way, I'm still important too, right? I know this is about women, but like...
No, I've not followed this nearly well enough to even... I mean, I really actually, honestly, to be completely confessional,
That's fair.
I've not followed the news whatsoever lately.
That's fair.
I'm actually struggling to know exactly what it is you're talking about
Okay.
that's going on.
Sure.
Trend-wise, I can follow. I understand the female, male.
We'll talk about the larger trend, then we can research this accordingly.
Yeah, because the actual situation itself,
That's fine. That's
yeah,
fine.
I'm sorry.
No, that's totally fine. But it's also something that is simply...
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been struggling lately with this in general, the trend in general, because it is both.
Sure.
It is both. I mean, I do think there needs to be a due process and a complete, respect of the fact that,
Mm-hmm.
just because somebody says something does not mean that something happened that certain way.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that there have been men completely thrown under the bus in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that there have been women ignored.
Sure.
Both have happened.
Right.
So, in terms of which is this is what bothers me about the whole thing.
Sure.
To take one side over the other is completely ridiculous because both happen.
Both do happen.
Both matter.
That's also true.
So someone being accused of something that did not happen versus someone that is accusing of something that is being ignored, both matter. So to say, well, this is how we need to approach this, completely to me is ridiculous. We need to approach it both at the same time. That's how I see it, because
Sure.
I don't like the idea that one side is being favored over the other.
Like blindly.
Or just because of some recent political movement or something. I don't like that. I really
that makes sense.
I like the actual relevancy of each component to be considered.
Right.
And I feel like in some ways I appreciate well, I'm a female, of course I appreciate that movement.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I don't appreciate that it can just be applied almost happenstancely to anyone we just want to. Like, you oppressed me. Well, show me something. Like, help me understand what you mean by that. We can't just run around calling it that.
And that's fair. I mean,
I don't like that.
It's important to say, we're not going to jump to conclusions anytime.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of the things that I'm seeing is that when a woman makes a claim like this, there are situations in which...
What is she claiming?
Well, let's go for this is really fine. Let's go for a sort of a general thing where if a woman claims that she was harassed or touched inappropriately or any one of these things, in many cases, sort of like the American default right now is to say, well, he probably didn't do it. She was probably just emotional. There's sort of like this defaulting to the man's favor. Oftentimes, yeah.
Is it still?
Yes, that's the problem. It still is. I'm seeing it a lot.
What do you guys think about that? Because I kind of feel like that has actually shifted.
I think it's something that we're working towards, but I'm still seeing it an awful lot. In fact, I've seen people pop up that have still been saying, you know, why didn't she come out sooner?
Forward,
Why didn't she come
yeah.
forward sooner? Why didn't she, you know, or if it, you know, freshly happens that there's a resistance of, you know, well, she just wants attention, or she just wants, you know, she only said this now that he's in a position of like political, you know, like the public eye, and under more public scrutiny, you know, that's the only reason to bring it up. And so there's a lot of things that are defaulting to saying, well, you know, what about him? What about his well-being? What about, you know? And I do think that, you know, while there are some cases of false claims, it's infinitesimal compared to the amount of actual claims that go unheard or unspoken, because people are afraid of what it's going to do to them, what a lot of people are afraid will happen to them, or they won't be believed, they won't be listened to, you know, they will be dismissed immediately.
It does, yeah, it
And,
happens.
you know, and so obviously I think, you know, that while there are those cases, it's a lot smaller than a lot of people think that they are. It's
Okay.
not nearly as many, but it still exists, of course. There's false claims, and they've been, you know,
Yeah, no, it's marginal.
it is.
I
It's
mean, I'm not saying
extremely-
it's a large.
yeah, but
no,
it exists.
It's not.
It does. And so
does
obviously
exist.
due process needs to happen so you can make sure that people are protected appropriately. And it's, you know, I want people to know that, like, by default, I don't want to say you're claiming harassment, you know, come back until you prove it to me.
Yeah.
I want to listen, because people get scared to talk because they think by default they won't be believed. And that's my fear, you know? So,
I would like to know what people think about that. I mean, if something
Yeah.
were to come at you,
sure.
like this guy harassed me,
Yeah.
somebody were to come about, you know, come forward and say, this guy, John Sakura, did this, that, or the other, I would want there to be an extremely, not just diligent, but fair due process for you. I would want that for you.
Sure. Yeah,
And,
I mean, absolutely.
And I understand, like, we're focusing a lot right now, and it matters. I'm a female. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. We're focusing a lot on women and what we say and and it being believed and it being taken seriously. I would also want, though, if that were brought against you, I wouldn't want that just defaulted into
Sure.
yes, he's
Yeah,
a pig.
absolutely.
I really, really, really would want that to actually go
Yeah.
in a sequential way.
So we need to fix the system. It's the system that needs to be done. We want to make sure that if people are going to be, you know, accused or prosecuted, due process, the system itself is set in place to where we have the resources, ability, and desire to say, let's not pick one side over the other by default.
I think the main thing is desire, yeah. I think we need to desire seeing all of it, because the thing is, I mean, the resources are there.
Right.
And the process is actually there.
Right.
We're not lacking any of that.
No, it very much exists.
Where it gets jacked up is attitudinally.
Yes, it
And
is.
so if we decide, like, okay, we're not going to listen to him or we're not going to listen to her, then yes, it gets jacked up, but the process itself is there.
And this is actually, Brett just brought this up.
Oh, yeah.
He won't let the FBI investigate. That's what he doesn't want to happen. He's saying don't. They've got the tools to do so. They have
Ooh,
the
I wish I
means.
knew what this was about.
And it's yeah. We can do some more research on this later. But yeah, the big means is that there's capability of it.
This is interesting,
Yeah.
what Jen said. I think it depends on the gender of the person making the comment. Men tend to be skeptical. Women tend to believe unconditionally, and both. Are
So a woman
scary.
might believe another woman blindly.
And both are scary.
That's fair. And a man might say something and respond with skepticism by default.
yeah.
Is sort of what's being said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it can be.
No, I think they're both are scary.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. A blind loyalty,
And that
because
has to do with just picking a side based on, well, I've seen this happen, so this is how I feel.
right.
Okay, yeah, so you've seen that happen, this is how you feel. However, every situation does warrant the actual focus and the attention to it.
The proper attention, focus, and desire to see the truth.
I mean, things get skewed so poorly all over the place, and people are, you know, affected by this stuff in ways that are unimaginably
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah.
So I think the way that we are, in some ways, kind of like flippantly, well, this is what he did, or oh, well, that she's lying. That all of that to me is kind of like, could we can take more than 4 seconds. We can take a little bit longer and actually deal with this, because they're both are scary. I think so.
Yeah. Blind loyalty is a very dangerous thing,
Yes,
because
it's like insane.
what happens is people, right now I'm also still seeing a divide where people say, well, Democrats are doing this and Republicans are doing this. And the bottom line is, They're shitty Republicans, they're shitty Democrats, they're shitty men, shitty women, shitty white people, shitty black people,
Yeah,
shitty
yeah,
every
yeah.
gender, every race, every anything.
Yes.
So it's not a partisan issue. It is simply, I want the
Yes.
truth no matter who you are. If you're a bad Democrat, if you're a bad, super liberal Democrat, radical, bleeding heart, whatever it is, but you're doing terrible, shitty things, it needs to be tried and found out and discovered that needs to be stopped.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're exactly on my side politically.
Thank you.
If you're doing something terrible, it needs to be stopped. I
Yeah.
don't care if we align exactly belief-wise.
Yes, partisan.
It ruins things because that's not the point.
Yes, I know, and people get very, very hooked on that.
Yeah.
And because of that,
Yeah.
there's this focus on either male or female lying or a definite perpetration, something, and because of the partisan quality of it, people aren't actually listening.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
partisan quality of it is, in my view, completely irrelevant when it comes down to something like this.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
I don't know this case particularly. I just know that I have watched people make determinations based on emotions or defensive defensive areas of sensitivity rather than actually listening to a certain thing that is happening.
Sure.
And I cannot wrap my mind around how that makes sense to anyone at all. How do you call something guilty or innocent without actually having been through the process of it?
Right.
Look at it, at least listen to it. I do not understand this entire
Listen
concept
to
of,
it, yeah.
well, she said it, so it's true, or
Sure.
well, he said it's not true,
Yeah.
so that's true.
Yeah.
What is that?
Okay. No, they're totally fine. So
Okay.
we can start catching up on
Hi,
all this
Kevin.
good
Hi.
stuff. Kevin's here. Hello. Fantastic. I'm glad all you guys are here. We got sort of sidetracked with a very exciting and current affair.
We did.
But let's go ahead and get back to discussing what we're doing about love. We can get into the nature of this other element later, and it's still a very big overlying issue, really. But
So the original question has to do with, if I know I'm not ready for something,
yeah,
but I'm still wanting to venture some kind of connection, some kind of sexual initiation. I'm wanting to venture something when I know that I am not right now prepared for something, and neither are they.
Neither are they. That's the thing. I think
Neither are
a
they.
big thing to consider when you're approaching, because so I'll be honest, they're post Christina. This is sort of like my wasteland moment
Yes.
in which I learned about myself, learned about other people. I learned what was and wasn't okay in proximity with other people and their feelings. Is a friend of mine actually just went through a breakup of a girl he dated for 6 years.
Okay.
Okay, and right now he's sort of in that rebound phase, which isn't inherently
Yes.
a bad place to be.
Right.
But I think it really depends on the main thing is, what are your intentions when you are rebounding with somebody, and do they know? Do they
know?
understand? Do they know?
Do they know?
Because it's very much a consensual kind of thing, and saying, I'm not ready, but I simply want to be loose, I want to fool around, I want to get involved on this level, but that, and you have to be okay with it too. And if so, you can communicate that. And a couple of years ago, I did that. I just had somebody, and we just, hung out and had fun, and like it was a whole just sort of whatever kind of thing.
Hooking up.
Completely communicated, completely understood, 100% consensual, and entirely and if something were to come up and complicate it, we would let the other know. And it was a very brief thing. It was fine. It ended amicably, and I'm still friends with this person. We still talk, and it was just completely just nothing. But there are also other times where I thought, I'm ready to get involved. I tried. I wasn't. And so I stayed in it because I was like, well, maybe if I'm here long enough, it will be okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And so I tried that for a little bit, only to realize, oh, shoot, I'm not. And so by that point, the line had kind of been crossed of, let's get more,
Hold on.
Yeah.
And where did that come from? I realized, well, I'm not ready for this, but I'm going to stay here just in case I get ready.
It came from fear of being alone, or that I just committed time again to somebody, or that I was afraid of hurting them. Guilt. And but then of course I started digging myself that much deeper, and it was like, well, shoot, now I'm in a place where no matter what I do, I'm going to hurt this person.
Shit.
Yeah, and that sucks.
If you've been there where no matter what you do, you already know that you have actually harmed someone, ooh,
Yeah, and like
not good.
preemptively harm them. Like no matter what you do at that point,
Right.
it's not going to be like an easy kind of
Right,
thing,
right,
right?
right.
And that it's a really terrible place to be. And finally, I did have to do, and a lot of it still came down to, well, Christina's still on my mind. Christina's still, I'm not ready. And so I did back out with sort of like the intention of saying, listen, it's not fair to you because I still am not over this thing. I
Yeah.
communicated directly. It didn't make it hurt any less. It still sucked, and I feel terrible for any damage that I caused people. But it wasn't until, well, you saw what, early last year, I was finally able to start putting that aside and actually displacing her from my life. And even the one day we were doing the podcast, in the middle of it, Christina came to my house, rang the doorbell, interrupted
Yeah.
the session.
No, she was throwing rocks at the window.
She was tossing little rocks at the window to get my attention.
She was tossing rocks at the window where we were podcasting.
To get my attention, and I went downstairs and I saw her, and I hadn't seen her in months. It was absolutely insane.
I think we had just been talking about her.
And I'm positive we were. And for that to happen was the camera keeps falling. Listen.
We're so
Let's
sorry.
go back a little bit. Yeah.
We're gonna be better prepared for this technologically next week.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we will.
No, we will.
I don't know.
We will.
I'm not committing to that.
I am committing to that.
Well, good luck.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome for everything that I do for you.
All the wishes.
Well, it's still recorded, Kevin. I mean, so if you missed it, it's still out there. I don't remember exactly when. It was probably March of last year. But whatever the case, it wasn't until I had finally taken the time to devote myself to not saying, to being alone, to being away from somebody, and saying I'm not going to put my heart out there because it's not fair to anybody else I get involved with.
Right.
No matter how badly I want to, this person won't make me forget about it. This person won't make me heal properly necessarily. I gotta work on that. I gotta do my own thing.
And so this question that came in, it was very, very centered around codependency. Defining codependency, understanding this person's relationship with codependency, and how that. So we've discussed that quite a bit. My definition of codependency, as probably a lot of you know, and definitely has to do with being on the take.
Yes.
I do something in some sort of relationship or in some sort of interaction or in some sort of engagement or encounter or exchange that actually is predicated on me getting something that I want, validated, me. So on one level, that's something we're always doing.
Sure.
We don't do things that aren't, something that fills something for our own self.
Right.
But if I am actually doing something that I know isn't beneficial to you, but I could get something out of it, I'm going to call that codependency.
Yeah.
This isn't good for you. I know it. I'm enabling something, or maybe I am deceiving something, or I am, whatever the case may be.
But let's get something out of it.
For my own,
me.
For my own self.
Yeah.
That is what I'm going to call codependency. That's my definition of that.
Sure.
And I don't know if you want to add to that at all.
There's a slight follow-up right here that I saw. So what happened after the rocks in the window? And literally in the middle of the podcast, I was like...
John went downstairs.
I was like, hold on, because I was like... She had done this before, not Michelle, but Christina had gotten my attention with rocks in the window before, so my first thought was, this is weird. I haven't talked to this girl in so long. Went downstairs and saw her, and she was just standing there. And I was just like...
So I sat there on camera going, what is going on?
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
100% unprecedented. Nobody knew. I didn't know.
Christina was downstairs.
We were just talking about this. We were
just
literally talking
about
about her. And so I went downstairs and I saw her. And I was just like, whoa. So I've been having issues with this girl for years. Communication. She wouldn't talk to me for months at a time. Then she'd show up randomly for an hour and then split for 6 more months. It was really bizarre, really frustrating. And so
God bless her, but she was a total fucking bitch.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
Okay.
And I needed to get to the point where I acknowledged that so I could get on, because I kept trying to defend her for so long.
And that took John forever. Yes.
I kept trying to say, well, she's hurting, or she's having a hard time, or, she means well. And because I really wanted to believe that there was some sort of altruism in the situation, because I was in love with this person.
She was being a bitch.
Unfortunately, I had to sort of really put that into my mind and say, yeah, I mean, she was being shitty to me. That's all there is to it. And so when I saw her, I went downstairs and I was just like, what are you doing here? Whereas 6 months prior, I would have been elated. And this time I was just like, well, I'm busy, and so, and it was hard, but also at the same time, it was easy for me to do it because I looked at it and I was just like, the attachment is leaving, the strings are being pulled apart, I'm sorry, but like I got stuff that I'm doing. I gotta, you know.
You walked back upstairs.
Yeah.
And you came in the room and you sat down calmly, for the most part. And you're like, well, that was Christina.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
I think
almost the subject of this podcast for 2 years.
I'm not. Yes, it
You
was.
know?
It
It
was.
really was ultimately.
I'm not positive about this. I think though that it was season 2, episode 7. I do think that's.
I can look it up and find it. Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
So I'm not totally sure, but I think that's where it was.
I'll do some research and find out which one it was. Then we can next week. I'll even post it and people can check it out.
Anyway, so what happened was John went downstairs and he said, "I'm busy," and he did not fall back into some sort of spiral that he had fallen into a couple times
you're
prior.
here! I'm so excited!
Like,
Thank
Yay,
God.
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed you and I love you. And you're all that fulfills me. And my life
Surprisingly
is now
cold,
okay.
and I didn't expect that
Yeah.
from myself, but I needed to. I had to be like, brick wall.
Which was great that we were in the middle of this because I was sitting next to John and we were
Yeah.
talking to people
Yeah.
about how, and he hasn't used this word because he has but John is like one of the most important people in my life. So I'm going to just say it. She's being a fucking bitch. And so we were sitting here doing the podcast and I was feeling that way. I was frustrated with her. I'm always frustrated with John when he puts up with shit that he shouldn't.
That's
But
fair.
I was frustrated with her for actually like taking advantage of that.
Sure.
So when you came back upstairs and you were like, well, she's gone now. I was like,
Yeah, like it was like I think that was the moment that I needed for myself to be like, hey, I finally get a chance to blow you off. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe I just needed that. Maybe it was some sort of indication and saying, how does it feel?
How does
you know?
it feel?
Yeah, right? Yeah, and finger guns. But it was hard, and it took a lot of responsibility over the 2 years prior to try to figure out where I was with myself.
yes,
And I was irresponsible for a lot of that.
yes.
I will, with my emotions, with my getting involved elsewhere, and responsible only in the regard that with some people I was like, listen, I'm not ready for something, but, are you okay with that? And they were like,
Right.
sure, me too. Okay. But for the most part, it was me struggling a lot and hurting people that I should not have. And that was the big risk that I ran, was trying to do something before I was ready, not communicating that with myself, and hurt some folks.
And we don't have to talk about this so arbitrarily. Like, we can actually discuss this about you and me.
Sure, yeah.
You and me.
Oh, yeah.
We have done this.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because
When-
Michelle and I had been involved before.
Yeah, we've been involved before on more than one time, twice, right? And
yeah.
twice.
Mhm.
And one time it was sort of like you preemptively before you were ready,
Yeah,
and one time me preemptively before I was ready.
yeah,
And both times it very quickly was kind of like, whoa,
Mhm.
this feels like a bad dynamic.
sure.
And so, I mean, you and I have the experience of this
Directly.
exact thing
Directly.
twice.
Lucas is here as well. Twice,
Hi,
yeah, we did.
Lucas!
Michelle and I went through this exact thing twice with each other. Yep,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yes.
A couple other follow-up comments. Let's see, those moments
that
feel
the last-
so good.
Yes, they
to
do.
finally get your hands on any control again.
Yes.
And it was liberating. It was actually something I'd been seeking for so long. And was that the last time she showed up or you saw her? I did see her sometime in the middle of last year, actually, because I was at Flying Star on the other side of town, and I went to get some food, and she was there studying for whatever school stuff she was doing.
How did you feel?
Let's see, when was it? Because it was probably like late summer, and I had made a lot of progress by then. Ariel and I were hanging out and being, by this time, Ariel and I were actually fairly well established as a unit. So that's the most romantic way I can put our relationship, is just unit.
We were a unit.
We were a functional unit at
We
that
were a
point.
functioning unit.
Yeah. So when I saw her, like, it was nice because I didn't see. In fact, there was no animosity directly at that point because there was no emotion involved in it.
Yeah,
It was kinda like-
we'd processed like a
Oh.
freaking mofo.
Yeah, for months, right at that point.
Months.
And so it was kind of like, oh, how's it going?
Mhm.
And so it was a very brief interaction, but, hey, I hope things are well. Cool, take it easy. And so, I don't like harboring feelings of bad faith to anybody.
Right.
But it was also nice to be like, oh, well, it was very brief, and I hope life finds you well, kind of thing.
Right.
And, went home and driving back, kind of thinking about it, kind of like, well, that was a lot less tense than I thought it might have been. And that was nice. But I also was not, sitting there pining over anything, thinking, oh, I wish, it would have worked out or whatever, because I was done. The ship had sailed.
And also, were you at a point where you weren't needing her to feel anything? Also, like,
Yeah.
I want her to be in pain. I want her to know how I feel.
I didn't want
that was
anything
all
bad
over
for
by
her. That
then?
was done. I was like,
Okay.
I want her to be happy. I want her to be successful. If she found somebody else, if she's doing something else with her life, good. I want that. I want her to be doing her own thing now.
Yes, that was the
But-
last time she stalked, right?
Yes.
She
Oh, that I'm
just-
aware of anyway.
Yeah.
Do you think Christina has ever watched this podcast? I don't.
Has she?
Well, the thing is, she doesn't use Facebook. That was, I know, when we were hanging out and talking, years ago. She has one, but
If
she
you're
didn't
watching,
really.
John forgave you. I'm
it's-
not there yet.
And so, but I'm not sure if she does. I don't know if she has access to it. She might. Maybe she goes online and stalks it. No clue. Maybe.
But
That-
I know that I need to forgive you. Because John's a grown ass man.
In due time, yeah.
He's a grown ass man.
I got that diaper money. That's right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting couple of years, but also the question that was posed tonight very much correlates. Let's see, Ella Michelle, only you.
I know. Fuck her.
Well, hey, I mean,
I'll
But,
get
you know,
over
but,
it. I'll get over it.
Here's the
but-
thing, though. I'm sort of in the same boat where it's kind of like I don't mind doing what I'm going to need to do to forgive and move on. But if I saw a friend who got mentally and physically destroyed by somebody
for a couple of years.
I'd be a lot more livid than and if you forgave them, I'd be a lot more pissed off than you. I'd be like, good for you, but
I'm not done. I'm not done pissed off at her, and it's and I should be by now, but I'm just not. I'm just not.
I understand that.
And
though.
I'm glad
That makes
Ariel's
sense.
here, and that helps me some. But I'm not done being mad at Christine.
Yeah, that's fine. It was weird, actually. Ariel and I were talking the other day, and Ariel asked what Christina looked like.
What did she look like?
Well, what's weird
I
about
don't
it?
think I ever saw her.
I don't think I ever did either.
No.
But she looks a lot like one of Ariel's friends.
Okay.
And it's really strange because we all went out to a little party for a birthday with some friends recently, and her friend was there, and she just looks a lot like Christina. It's really bizarre. And so I mentioned that, and Ariel's like, "Oh, I don't even know what Christina looks like. Do you have any pictures?" I was like, "Well, I don't have any pictures, but we can try."
It's like a big old bitch.
That's just a big ball of a scrotum. A ball of scrotums, like all scrotums making up a bigger scrotum.
She's gonna start stalking me. Yeah. I'm gonna kick her ass, man. Like
I mean-
still want to. I'm like right now.
You're not over it.
No, I'm not over
Well, you
it.
saw how my emotional roller coaster was literally the whole spectrum. It was every which direction you could go. So you know how
John and I have been friends for 25 years. I held you crying. No, I'm not over it. Fuck her, and I should be. I'm not impressed with myself right now. I don't want anybody
You're
watching me be
human.
so unforgiving.
You're human.
But fuck her.
that's part of it.
Ugh.
We all process in different ways, and I understand though. I'm prone to forgiving people for a lot of different things, but I'm a lot less prone to forgiving people who hurt my friends.
Yeah.
Forgiving people who hurt me is one thing.
I'm not good at that either.
People who hurt. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I'd buy the pay-per-view of that fight. My money's on Michelle in that fight. Everybody's
Yeah.
really into this whole
Kick her ass.
betting you against my ex. So I mean, right on.
I've been training.
You've been watching a lot of octagon fights.
No, I've been in them.
Oh, you would just
Yeah.
as a ref.
Me
or
and Bones Jones.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm beating the shit out of him on a weekly basis.
To practice against
Yeah,
when you meet
because I'm
Christina.
like, when I meet Christina,
Yeah, when I go to Flying Star and she's there,
I want her dead.
I'm gonna throw a tray
Dead
of hot
as-
food in
dead
her
as
face.
crap. You tray of hot food. I want to be prepared to throw food in her face.
Well, I mean, that's if you're gonna do it, that's the place to do it.
If I'm gonna do it, that's probably the right way to do it. I don't need to actually hurt anybody. I actually don't even need to do
Might
that.
burn her with hot food.
I'm gonna.
Put her hand underneath the steamer or
I
something.
don't know. I need to process this more
That's fair.
later. But we really should focus on.
Okay, let's focus on this.
on what we're
Okay.
supposed to.
So ultimately, I mean, this question is, what was it leading towards the advice of what do I do?
The way that I read it was more, and I can't open it right now. I wish I could, but I can't right now. The way that I read it was more so than anything trying to understand codependency and how do I differentiate when I'm feeding something like that versus feeding a relationship appropriately. How do I tell the difference between them? So, like I was saying prior, the way that I conceptualize Codependency has to do with getting something, validating something, receiving something that is at the expense of someone else.
Sure.
At the expense of someone else.
Yeah.
Even if they are wanting that. If you know it's at the expense of someone, for example, addiction. Somebody may want to indulge in whatever addiction that it is. If I'm helping them indulge in it, yes, they may want it, but I'm enabling something that I know, they know, everyone knows is not good for them.
Okay.
So if I know that something that I'm doing, paying attention to, giving energy to, is not for someone's highest good, yes, it's codependent.
Sure.
Yes, it is selfish. Yes, it
Sure.
is. It
Okay.
just is.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes complete sense. Because describing codependent sort of like I always sort of envisioned, I just want you around. I'm lonely, but it becomes a lot stronger. It becomes a lot more damaging when you understand that you are on the take. You're choosing to take. You're asking. You're requiring of somebody when they can't give it to you.
Right.
And it hurts them, and you don't care because you still need the indulgence of
But
whatever.
there's also the component of when you're also aware, I want this person I want to make them feel good.
Sure.
Well, why?
That's fair. Okay.
Why?
Okay.
Why do I want to give this person attention? Why do I want to be the person that makes them feel good? Why do I want that?
Okay.
Because there is a difference between wanting that for my own ego and wanting that because I genuinely care about that person. You have my word. If you're not ready for that relationship, it is your ego.
And you should be doing it for your spirit, to grow your own spirit.
Well,
I mean, you should. I'm not asking. I'm telling.
What?
You should. I'm giving you commands.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because as friends.
Do what you say.
Do what I tell you to do, exactly. Yeah, I don't care what you get out of it. I'm doing this for me.
Why we do what we do is, in my view, a whole lot more important than what we do.
The reasoning. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When you help somebody, that's why do you help people?
Have you ever had the experience of wanting to just like bang somebody, but you knew that you weren't ready for anything deeper, and it was just on one level, and maybe you weren't totally fully honest with them about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like I said, I went through the whole gamut of everything with post Christina. Like it
You took it out on yourself, among others.
I did. There was collateral damage, and it truly makes me feel terrible to know. Some of those things, some people I was able to salvage a relationship with still, which is wonderful and very gracious of them to even allow that back in. And some people, that's done and it's gone, and it makes me sad to know that I've hurt people because I wanted something that I was not ready for. Absolutely. It's I'm not proud of it, but I'm happy that I'm able to recognize it, and ideally that will never happen again. To that degree, I inevitably will harm people. I will inevitably cause hurt in some capacity. I will do things that I hope I don't, but the idea is for me to recognize those ideally before they even happen.
Well, the times that you and I projected on one another that way.
Yeah.
Like maybe I took advantage of you in some way, or you took advantage of me in some way. Both of them resulted in, both those two instances resulted in a period of time where we could not be in contact.
That's true. Yeah, actually,
We needed
an extended period.
Like an
half a year
extended
or a
period.
year,
Yes,
or
where we needed no contact because something in the dynamic of what we were doing, or what was being conveyed, was selfish on your part or mine.
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
I would say once yours, once mine. Like,
yeah,
we've definitely leveled that field.
We're even.
Yeah, we're even. Yeah, now we're even.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it takes is revenge.
And I mean, so we talk about our friendship on a pretty frequent basis, but really, John and I have run the gamut of what a friendship can go through.
A lot, yeah.
We've run the gamut. Like we've hurt each other. We've helped each other. Like we've run the entire gamut.
Yeah.
So I can definitely say that I have put you in a position of somebody that I am on the take from, and you've done the same to me.
I have, absolutely.
Yeah. And both of those times, what needed to happen was a complete sever for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, and as long as it was appropriate.
because it wasn't okay.
And I think what was great about it for both of us too is by allowing each other proper space. We didn't try to contact each other before it was appropriate, before we were genuinely ready.
Right.
Is the moment we recontacted each other, it was because it came from a place of genuine, hey.
And I don't
You
feel
know?
like we've ever come back together and not been able to say, this is what I did to you,
Yeah,
or this is what you did
it's
to me.
yeah.
I mean, there's not any like unspoken. There's nothing unspoken or unresolved between us.
No,
Like we have jacked each
the
other
most
up.
open line of communication
Yeah,
and
it's happened.
understanding and allowance of, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like you've been really good for me understanding, not just understanding, but really accepting like the limitations and how jacked up people can be.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to look at someone, except Christina, being able to look at someone and say, you know what,
Mm-hmm.
you jacked up, but you know what,
Mm-hmm.
nonetheless,
Yeah,
you're
You
valuable. All of this,
still
right?
as equal as me, as
Yes.
lovable as me, as wonderful as me.
You've been good for me in that way.
Yeah, we have a good understanding. You've taught me a lot about that. So when it comes down to like this question of, you know, or line of advice, you know, what do you do?
One thing that I can say for sure, I know that the time that I kind of came into your life and took advantage of you, I was in a position of pain.
Sure.
I was going through, I don't want to say the end of a relationship, but that's probably the most accurate way to put it.
Yeah.
End of a relationship, but more so than that even, it's an identity like crisis in a sense. When a really important relationship falters, then you have to reconfigure how you see yourself. And in that period of time when I was not fully comfortable dealing with me, I came and projected onto you, wanted attention, wanted whatever I wanted, and tried to get it, did get it, hurt you in the process, and probably myself as well. So, and where that really came from was me not wanting to actually look at where I was at. Sometimes things are painful. Sometimes we're going through situations that are painful, and we are not ready to sexually advance somewhere, emotionally advance somewhere, psychologically, whatever the case may be, advance somewhere, and we're doing it anyway. We're doing it anyway. Yes, that is codependency. Yes, it is.
Kevin says, it took so long for me to get out of the same identity crisis after Crystal.
Yeah, I remember that.
Absolutely. That's a huge one. And you know, to the hypothetical of like this person that is this query that's come up, everybody's going to have a different way of sort of handling sort of re-identifying yourself, because what I was doing, and you know, I think I've mentioned this countless times in the show, probably even last week, stupid day.
Yeah.
Stupid day. And those videos were
You
the most.
didn't mention it last week.
Oh no. Okay.
No, not in a while.
Yeah, and those were fun because, you know, for every day for maybe like a month, I was making
Those were awesome.
just these silly videos. Yeah, completely, and I had a blast doing them because what I do is and I keep this in mind. I don't always, you know, commit to it the way I should have, which is why over the last couple of years things were sort of turbulent. Is whenever I find myself focusing on somebody else or something else that's supposed to heal me or complete me or whatever nonsense I think is going to be the answer, that to me is the clear-cut sign that I have to refocus on me. And stupid, so, you know, it's sort of like if I see this thing, that's literally the symbol saying, no, you, John, you know?
Okay.
And so then I had to say, okay, well, so what is John then? And so that's when I started doing these videos where I would record myself for like 30 seconds to a minute, just doing something totally arbitrary, making a dumb voice or dumping ice on my face or, you know, some sort of stupid.
And it was trying to minimize the severity of the depression.
It was.
Right.
It was actually. It was a way for me to cope with being sad by saying I enjoy doing this and it makes me happy to do so. Let's make these fun, honest videos about myself. And so I would, you know, just unplanned, unscripted, just do something dumb, make a dumb voice, make a dumb skit, whatever it was. And those, so every time you saw those, that was me at my hardest.
Yes.
Actively combating anxiety and depression to a degree I've never felt before. It was incredible. And so, you know, whatever means that you have, when you recognize that you are not ready for something, recenter, refocus,
or
and say,
or they're not,
or they're not,
or they're not,
or they're not.
Maybe you're ready and they're not. If you know that someone isn't, and let's just all be honest with ourselves, we do know. We do know.
We do.
Like, we can say all day long,
Yeah.
oh, I wasn't aware that she could have been hurt. I wasn't aware I could have been hurt. Bull fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know when someone's not ready.
Right.
You know when you're not ready. And if you're not going to be completely forthright with yourself about that, then then I don't even know what to say other than yeah, you're gonna learn the hard way. Write us later.
Be patient with other people and be easy on yourself.
If someone is not ready, if you're not ready, like the way that you channeled it was, okay, I'm gonna make these dumbass videos that just make me laugh, make somebody laugh, because I can't heal this right now.
Yeah, and no one else can heal this for me. I need to just, I need an outlet.
Right.
I need somewhere to put emotions, and dumping into that was the best focus for me, and I loved doing them. And the more I did them, the more I found out that it was just like, this is what it's like to be me without thinking or being caught up on something else that is the answer.
Right.
Because it's not.
Don't put someone on sexual reserve.
No.
Don't put someone on emotional reserve. Don't put someone on any kind of reserve.
Yeah, don't give somebody a commitment they didn't ask for.
Or
don't hand somebody.
Don't give someone the attention that you are not prepared to give somebody. Just period.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have that available, if they are not available for it, don't. Please learn from us. Like, we have done this to one another. It's not, we had to spend years apart.
We did.
In our friendship and our relationship because of this. So, from personal experience, no, it is never, ever, ever worth it. Ever.
Nope.
Ever.
It's never proven to be worth it.
It is better. I mean, pain sucks bad, but it is better to go through that and do that and channel that in some way, like a stupid day video, or dealing, like going to friends, going to whatever.
Maybe do some art or music.
Whatever it is that just actually helps you cope.
What is your outlet?
Cope. Do that instead of involving anybody else in the coping that you're doing. Don't involve other people in that unless it is actually like there's somebody you rely on, you lean on, they're a friendship. But do not project on somebody else in order to cope.
Absolutely. So Byron first says, I'm alive, which he's not. He's actually dead, and he's typing this from beyond the grave.
Dead.
I'm not into it.
You liar.
He's lying to us. But more importantly, right above that, I'm in a huge codependency crisis right now.
Okay.
I'm stuck in a rut that I feel like I can't escape from. Thank you for reminding me that I am my own person and that I can get away.
And you have to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's hard because even when you recognize it, I mean, Stupid Day wasn't the solution. It was a means to getting better.
But it's a beautiful illustration of, I'm not going to put this in someone.
Yes.
I'm not going to do this to someone else. No, this doesn't heal anything. Because what actually does? Time.
Time.
It is time.
And it helped me bide my time.
Yes, it is biding time. And you know what? It feels like shit along the way. I understand that. I know that. I've been there. It feels like shit to just bide that time. But what are you going to do? Do something that actually makes you recognize later, wow, I damaged another thing, in order to protect myself from a little bit of pain.
Right.
Deal with it. Go through it. Be alone. Be lonely. Deal with it. I'm sorry. Call a friend. Deal with us. Whatever it is you have to make a Stupid Day video.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you have to do to remember that, yes, you are your own person. And yes, you are going to make it through it, and you're going to be okay. Do that.
So Lucas says, that's what I'm trying to strive not to do with my current situation, which is, be patient with people, love people regardless of what they can give you. Be okay with knowing that even if you are simply...
And don't Polaroid.
Correct. The snapshot thing we discussed last week.
The snapshot, where you're at, it's not going to stay
It is simply a moment. Just let it...
It is a moment. You have to trust that it's going to roll by.
Be okay with the passing.
You have to trust that.
Yeah. And I had lunch the other day with a friend. She just went off to LA the other day, and she's a really, really great person. She just met somebody recently that they've been jiving, and it's a really great, cute little relationship they're in. But we were discussing, she's still friends with her ex, but one of the ideas we were talking about that we both subscribe to, you and I mean, the circle that we've got oftentimes is love somebody even if they can give you nothing. Love somebody and wish them the best, even if they can do nothing for you, even if they can't give you anything, even if you may never see them again, even if they will never be in your life again, even if you are no longer going to, your paths converge at one point and they may never for the rest of your life. still love them.
Still look at
Wish
them
them
like,
the best.
thank you, love you, beautiful.
Yeah, while you were here, it was important, and now that you're gone,
Appreciate.
grow and be the best you that you can be.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, when you sort of put that out there and give that to them, it raises the likelihood not necessarily that you're going to get what you want with them, but that you will grow properly,
Right.
and that they will grow with your support,
Right.
genuine support. They will be better, not wondering in the back of their mind, or like, I hope he wasn't trying to get this from me, or hope she wasn't trying to get this from me, because it goes both ways. If you genuinely love somebody, that love heals them. If you genuinely do, and it heals you, it is good for both people to not have to sit there and because it releases the animosity, it releases tension, it releases that binding which occurs when there's stress or tension.
I've not mastered that everywhere. You've probably not mastered that everywhere.
No.
But regarding you, it doesn't matter what you do. To me, I love you. I appreciate you. Whatever the case may be, whatever you're doing, wherever you're at, whatever we've been through, you for me are like not just absolved, but like bueno.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It
no,
is.
absolutely.
Like 100,000,000%, no matter what.
Well, because we no longer have a power over one another.
Yeah, there's no power
to command that kind of sorrow.
I just want for you.
Yeah. We've been through the whole spectrum. We've met each other's significant others. We've been around. Like it's really interesting the kind of relationship that you and I have on that front.
I know.
Because that can be a hard thing for some people to do. But it's effortless.
Sometimes I marvel at that.
Yeah.
Like, why is it that we've been able to play any role in one another's lives?
Yeah.
And go forward into another one completely purely.
Yeah. Like, were I to get married, you'd be invited to you'd be my best man.
I'm your best man.
You're already my best man.
You're my maid of honor. Yeah.
If I were to have a baby, I would give you my first baby.
And I would kill your baby.
And that was like Isaac on the mountain.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I would be okay with that because I understand and love you. And if you needed to sacrifice my baby, I'd get it. Like, it would be, to me, like, it's like, I trust you that much.
Oh, well, that kid must have sucked.
Yeah, he was gonna grow up to become a nothing.
Yeah,
so,
that kid's a loser.
No, but no, I like. There's not even a hint of fear in any part of our relationship,
Nope.
and I would love for that to be the case with everybody.
And it took a while. Like, it took us a while to get there.
And it took a lot of pain. Oh man,
it did.
It took pain.
We have fucked each other up here and
there. Oh
yeah.
Yeah, like with box cutters and like tonfas and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like I cut off your tattoos and you had to go get them again.
Yeah, you had to get them. I'd redraw them with Sharpie and be like, "This is what I want exactly." And the guy was like, "Okay, fine." Yeah.
Because this bitch. Over
because you're still with me. Yeah, you're still in the same room, just holding it.
She was skinning me, and it was awful.
Just getting me in the lobby of the tattoo parlor. Yeah. Exactly.
Shit.
Ninja swords.
Okay.
So, good. Aubrey's here.
Hold on.
This is one of my favorite people, by the way.
Lucas, 7 years ago, I was in a dark, depressed state over a breakup. Took me some time to become happy with myself again. Took up martial arts. Yes, and that's something that, I mean, I haven't been on Facebook a lot lately, but anything I've seen of you, like, that's obviously looked like dedication for sure.
Oh, yes. Oh, and then,
Whoops.
Stormfall. Oh, it's Molly. I miss your face. I wish I was closer to your West Side store. Well, I am never at my West Side store because I no longer own the West Side store, so I mean, I wish you were just closer to wherever I am, which is my East Side store.
East Side
so
store.
that's actually a much better place to be if you're around there. But you should stop on by sometime and, come hang out, game nights or smash nights or whatever it is, movie nights, which incidentally we're watching Predator tomorrow. I'm very excited because Arnold Schwarzenegger is the coolest thing on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, I love these people. I love these friends. Eat the baby. It's friendship. It is friendship. Hold on. Does eating the baby constitute a closer friendship between us?
Well,
or the baby signifies friendship?
Well, we're not sure. I mean, we have to explore things to see what it does to our friendship.
Could you bite the baby?
So I need you to make a baby.
Okay.
And then I'll eat it.
And then you can tell me if we've gotten closer?
And then we'll see what's happened to our relationship.
So then this makes, we're about as close as friends are going to get. Yeah. So what if you feed it to a lion and a vulture? Do they become really good friends simultaneously? Or if you feed it to the lion, does the lion become friends with anybody it interacts with?
Maybe.
Or does eating it like destroy friendship and it no longer exists.
Maybe they're like, wow, I ate that baby. That baby was my best friend. And
The
then,
lion's best friend?
yeah, and then we realize, that's what a best friend is. Somebody I can eat. I can ingest.
The movie, the Donner Party.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're lost in the mountains and they eat each
Oh.
other, like, they're toasting and
They were
best friends and,
yeah, they were so
high fives all
right.
around and.
That was benevolence.
That was this really.
One of us needs to eat the other.
Okay. I think people actually have done that. Like online.
I'm sure.
And that's, I feel like that's an actual thing that's occurred, which is, I don't know if that's
sure
for me.
is.
But
I don't know what we're talking about.
yeah, exactly. Ninja swords. Michelle stabbed John 207 times in the pingus. You would not do that, Michelle. You put a good front, but I know differently.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Love you. I love you. Absolutely. Very, very much, as a matter of fact. Total dedication. Watching through the return of Twin Peaks, you guys created a sense of community that was instrumental in my finding closure from that relationship. That's actually true. Is we actually had like a sort of a community event with a close group of friends watching through this show, and sometimes that can be just like a healing moment. And then when you go back to that show, any like subsequent viewing or video game or movie or whatever it might be, it's kind of like a reminder.
Conjures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, you remember this.
Absolutely.
The Wario.
Absolutely.
I got this on a very pivotal day in our relationship as friends because it was like a day that I came over to Michelle's house and I remember crying on your bed with this fresh Wario tattoo on this 27-year-old man, who had just broken up with his fiance, and it was like this whole like thing. But this was just sort of a reminder of like, I'm moving forward. I'm getting better, and I was having a hard time, but it was a step in a direction I needed to take, and our friendship really escalated that.
Yeah.
And your advice, and you're talking to me, and you're giving me conversations with God. All of those things were pivotal, and just being at your house with this freshly wrapped, because I just got it that day, stands out in my mind very clearly.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. Wario for me is definitely like a highlighted meaning.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like a lot of these things, some are sort of like, oh, I like the way he looked, but a lot of them are also, what you looking for?
Where am I? Where's Blue Lady? Ah!
Oh, the Mewtwo. Mewtwo's right
Yeah.
there. There's the Blue Lady. For those of you who are wondering.
Yeah, Ariel did not agree to the baby eating.
Well, she didn't say no.
Well, she didn't agree because she's not part of the decision-making process.
Oh yeah, just like the baby I'm gonna have with Ariel. I'm gonna go. Well, we can talk about this later. But we just thought of something, and I'm not sure how this works. I don't know if you have any insight. Let's read these real quick before we get on to this because I have a really big question regarding.
Okay.
It's kind of off subject.
Did you bang somebody and impregnate them?
No,
Okay.
no, I did not do that. Let's see. It's a magical ritual. You must eat the baby. Here we go with the tangent, not the gamey
Blood
leg.
monster life.
John, can we have a one-on-one life conversation sometime? I feel like I can learn a lot from you. Absolutely. The best thing to do is to hit me up on Facebook or email or whatever it is and say, hey, can we go to the store and talk? Because since I'm at the store frequently, pop into the back room, sit on the couch, maybe, grab some food and just chat. I've done that with a lot of people actually, is just sit in the back room and just talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes for hours. My employees got everything handled. They know what's going on. They're great with that. But I think it's actually a really great opportunity to sit down with people one-on-one and just listen. If you want advice, great. But if you want me simply to listen, absolutely. And my advice isn't gospel or anything,
John's
but
a great listener.
I do enjoy listening to people.
He's great.
No judgment. No judgment. Unless I were Judge Doom, in which case I would judge a shoe. Yeah, he dips it.
Dips it.
Dips it and dip. Oh my god, it's dip.
Oh my
I don't think
God.
Ariel's even agreed to the baby yet. Never mind baby eating. Okay, so real quick, I don't know how quick this will go, but let's go ahead and discuss this. Okay? Men can donate sperm. Women can donate eggs. What are the chances of, say, a woman donates 1,000 eggs? I think it's like the maximum that she's allowed to donate. She probably won't, but maybe say 500 eggs.
Do we have 1,000 eggs? How many eggs are we born
I don't know,
with?
but I heard that that was sort of the limit. Now every month you got eggs coming out, right?
Well, yeah, but we're born with a certain amount.
I'm saying 1,000.
Okay, 1,000, I guess.
Yeah, we'll say 1,000. Okay.
All right.
and you donate them to,
The Red Cross.
The Red Cross, and they have like 1,000 of your eggs on file.
On file.
Okay.
Okay.
Now say 5% of these eggs are used. Because if they used all of them, that's pretty great. It's 1,000 brand new babies.
Yeah.
But that's also going to complicate things because you now have 1,000 people all with the same mother that may not know. Men, women, anything in between.
Okay.
Suppose they meet, they fall in love.
Mm-hmm.
What does that end up doing? I mean, because I'd like to think, like, how common do you think it is for people to end up meeting a significant other that they have no idea is from the same birth mother or same sperm as the father?
It happens.
How often? Do you know? I mean,
No, I actually don't know frequency. But I do know that in one or two generations, it's not that big of a biological deal.
okay, but if you do it consistently,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Even so, like that would be interesting, and I would wonder like how common that actually is because I don't know if like the eggs are dispersed across the nation or if they are kept locally, in which case numbers rise, I would say, fairly astronomically. You know?
I love this.
And I was wondering about, Ariel brought this up. We were listening to a Weird Al song where it talked about accidentally being related, and she asked this question. I was like, man, I don't know. But so ultimately, you feel that it's much less of an issue. Like if it were like brother and sister directly for a couple generations, that would be a much bigger thing rather than people who are half related.
Yes, if you linearly go down that line with
Yeah.
in the same closeness of relationship for several generations, yes, you're going to start having complications.
Okay, but like say for like one generation, and chances are it's not going to happen after that if you have
Right.
two people who accidentally meet from the
Chances
same
are
egg.
not, right.
Okay.
Chances are not.
Okay.
One or two, you're probably okay. Past that,
Interesting.
you're gonna get some biological issues.
Do you know offhand though, like if eggs are dispersed nationwide, or if they are kept like in like a community, like like a local ecosystem kind
I
of
don't
thing?
know. I mean,
That's fair.
Jen just said we have many eggs.
Sure.
I should know more about my own anatomy.
I mean, I know nothing about it.
300,000?
So 1,000 is just a small percentage. I believe that I heard there was like a cap that a woman could donate.
The average woman is. I was born with 300,000 babies in me.
I know, potential babies.
Whoa.
Or full-grown babies, and they just keep getting smaller.
I haven't had even one of them.
You haven't had even one egg.
Man,
That's pretty incredible.
I
But yeah,
discharged a good amount of eggs.
this question popped up, and it was really
Yeah. Okay. What would you do if to discover that the two are related?
oh, that's the thing is you might not ever know.
What if you found out?
But
that
what
you
if
and
you did find
Ariel,
out?
What if you found out that you and Ariel had the same birth mother?
Well, so we were. I was at a Japanese lesson with a friend, and she said she was watching this show that's sort of like the British Jerry Springer kind of thing, just
Okay.
or Dr. Phil or something along those lines. Maybe it was closer to Dr. Phil, and that these two men actually did meet each other, fall in love, and then find out that they had the same. Maybe it was one or both parents, but separated at birth, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out they just both fell in love with each other, and they were under a lot of flack, but they had no idea. They had absolutely no clue, and so the situation was complicated, for them. And I believe they ultimately ended up.
I think that's interesting
parting ways,
to get a
but-
lot of moral flack for something that is completely organic, like falling in
You
love.
have no, right, yeah, because it's not like these guys
Falling
knew.
in love, right?
Yeah, and so
Falling in love is not something that we're just like, I'm gonna immorally fall in love with you. It happens on some level that we don't necessarily have a lot of control over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, Media Glitch, Joel asked, how's Transformers? And I actually regret to say that I planned on going, and I ended up feeling really sick today overall.
Was that Transformers?
Yeah, the movie. I was supposed to go see it tonight.
There's another one?
No, the original animated movie.
Oh.
Yeah, it was playing on the big screens.
Yeah, John said he wasn't feeling good since this morning.
Yeah, I've actually had like a very, and I don't get sick very often, but this morning I woke up with a really bad headache, and I went to work and trucked through it as best I could, but yeah, it ended up sort of, I just went home and just tried to rest and tried to sleep, so, because my head hurt very badly, but I'm okay now. I took some Tylenol and got some rest, but it sucks because I wanted to see Transformers, because they don't play it in the theaters ever. 30 years ago they played
I
it in the
don't
theaters.
think I ever saw that.
The original?
I don't think so.
It was a very good one. The original one was a lot of fun.
When was it?
1987. I don't know. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Nope, didn't see it.
Yep. It was good. So anyway, I was just curious about the egg thing and if you had any sort of input or...
No, I would have to look into that. What do they?
Yeah.
What do they? Once they're donated, do they? I would hope that they're dispersed on some.
A much bigger scale.
I would hope so.
I
I
would-
mean, they can't just all go to one like bank.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, per zip code. They have, just all
Right.
these,
All this whole zip code is my children.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I
And
hope not.
You have no clue.
Yeah, you'd hope not.
So,
Yeah,
okay. So, anyway, that sort of popped up, but
that's an interesting question. I never thought about that.
I had neither. Not at all.
Man, I didn't know I had that many eggs. Now I don't. I mean, how many periods have I had? I don't know.
I had no less than you.
Well, yeah, probably. I could do the math, but there's no reason to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of eggs.
That is a lot of eggs.
And then you guys just have like infinite sperm.
Mm-hmm. Say so you donated sperm and you're receiving other donated eggs. What are the odds that someone gets a baby from the both your DNA?
Right?
That's the thing. Is it very well?
That would be, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I wonder if they well, I was gonna say if they screen for something like that, but if like you did it before you got together or involved, how would you know? Or unless if you were
be
to
fascinating.
to be a donor, maybe out of courtesy, when you meet somebody, you contact the agency and be like, hey, listen, I met this person, and just to cross check, guys, make sure we're good. I don't know, like maybe there's procedures and screenings, or maybe it just happens and that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
But I want to know how common like it might be, and maybe it's like the tiniest percentile. I have no idea. Let's see. I think they go out of state to be screened and dispersed. That would make more sense.
I think that would make, well, of course. I mean, if there's any sense, then they would do something along those lines.
Yeah. So I don't know, but it's interesting. And a question I never thought
Have
of.
you ever donated?
No,
Cool.
no. I mean, to socks that I washed, but not to a company.
Company.
Yeah, exactly. Not to Paramount Pictures or anything. Yeah,
Here.
or Walmart. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No. I've actually been kind of curious because it seems like
Socks. Right?
if it John ...
Socks that I've washed.
I mean, I could throw them away. I guess I don't know. Anyway, I know that's crude.
Anyway.
But yeah, and I'm not a crude person. I've never made a dirty joke, so that was a first for me, and I feel uncomfortable.
Oh, I bet you do.
Yeah, it's kinda weird.
Everybody, I bet, is extremely shocked.
Yeah, I'm gonna test you, baby, just for the two of you to eat together and bond together. Do you eat it out of a tube, like a straw, like you both suck from the end of the straw at the same time, and whoever gets it, like that's who truly wins the friendship? I'm a better friend if I eat the baby, but if you get it, then
I'm gonna throw up.
are you? Eventually, you probably will.
Oh, it's so gross.
Better than his tighty whities. Anyway, we don't need to. Lucas says, "Oh, that's gross."
Yeah, it is disgusting.
He's not wrong.
John is gross.
It's like a wishbone cock.
That's what I was
See,
just thinking.
now
I was trying to think
everybody's
of the word of it.
now everybody's.
Like a wishbone. Like which one gets the most?
Oh yeah, so you have to weigh it out. Spit it onto a scale. All right, let's see. A better version of the spaghetti thing from Lady and the Tramp. Thanks, John.
It's awful.
You know what's funny is how long you've known me and how long I've been making jokes like this, and that you still
And
might get skeeved out.
Yes, it's disgusting. That's so gross. Has nothing to do with you and your jokes. The idea of like swallowing a little fetus makes me want to puke. I mean, what can I say?
Just don't swallow and you'll be fine. I
I'll
just
be fine. I'll
swish
just
it
put in
around.
my
That's
mouth
all.
and spit it out. It'll be fine.
You're so gross, Michelle.
Oh,
this
God.
podcast is supposed to be wholesome, and you're here making gross jokes about babies.
I know. I'm sorry.
Let's see. If you guys could ethically and safely consume a piece of human meat, would you?
Yes, definitely.
I mean,
Absolutely. I've been so curious ever since watching that Sunny and Philly episode.
oh right.
I would love to know what is the
Was there just a raccoon or
Well,
whatever?
and also, I mean, I've read some. Okay, this is jacked up, but I've read some things about how the person when the state that they died in terms of how much adrenaline was in their system affects what the meat tastes like.
Oh, that meant like if they died in Nebraska, they would taste like corn.
Not Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
The amount of adrenaline in them.
Sure.
So if somebody had high adrenaline when they died and you ate them, that would have a different effect than if they didn't have high adrenaline.
What if they had high adrenaline because they had just eaten like 40 ears of corn?
Uh,
That's a lot of sugar.
that would probably be like your dream human to eat. Corn, like someone full of corn.
There's a guy who got his foot amputated and cooked some of it and made.
Wow.
I actually heard about this. He invited his friends over and they all ate his foot together.
Wow.
You know, and in a sense, I think it's kind of a cool bonding experience. I think as
Does
long
anybody
as
want to donate a foot and we'll all just go ahead and eat a foot fajita?
I don't know.
I'm not doing it.
You almost volunteered us
No, I'm asking if anybody would like to.
To donate or to
donate
eat?
a foot, like
No, you're not going to donate.
I'm not.
You want to eat.
Yeah, somebody else can donate a foot, and then we can see how we feel about eating it.
A footita.
Footita.
Yeah. You'll eat a baby, but not a foot.
I'll eat a foot.
I won't eat the baby's foot. You don't know where those things have been. Yeah, I'll eat every other part of a baby. I haven't. Yeah, like if you're talking about other things, I'm just not a foot person. Let's see.
I don't know.
Send a link to the Vice article on that story, John.
Thank
Check it
you.
out. If you lose a limb, I will let you eat it,
Thanks,
Michelle. You guys are very generous this evening. This is nice. Everybody's sharing things with us. I hope nobody has left in disgust.
No, it looks like more people have
Nicole, are you still here? I'm sorry. What has more what has more
meat?
meat, a foot or baby? Depends on the size
It
of
probably
either.
depends on, yeah.
Because like, what if like you had like a baby whale has more meat than, or we talk like a human baby? And how old constitutes like a year before you become like a toddler or 6 months?
What is a toddler? A year old?
I don't really know. I'm not sure what the measurement right here is. Depends how far along the baby is. A foot would likely have more muscular tender feet.
We're so
Tender
evidently
meat.
not parents. What's a toddler?
Yeah, I know exactly.
long
A
is
baby
the
would be a very
baby?
fatty meat. Let's see. You're cracking my tired self up. Oh, good. I want to make sure you're not like sitting there puking in your, in your soup or whatever.
So far, I haven't vomited, and I'm proud of myself.
I'm pretty proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, the thing is, the more you talk about this, the more likely, like somewhere down the road, some of you guys can be like, you got a baby, you're hungry, and you're gonna be like, you know what? I talked about this, and 10 months ago I wouldn't have eaten this. Now,
Yeah, we're
whatever.
desensitizing so that when that does
Yeah.
happen, I'll be nice and prepared
Bring it on, you know.
to eat a
This
baby.
is old hat. We've
Yeah.
discussed this. I'm preparing myself.
Yeah, this is gross. This is really gross.
I don't think it's that gross. I think it's actually very good for you.
For me, or for do you mean you as in it's good for you generally, or me?
It's good for me to know that you could eat a baby if it came down to it. I don't want to eat a
If
baby.
it came down to it,
Oh.
of course I could.
So what is coming down to it? This is now we have to define.
Starvation. Like, there's no other sustenance.
And
So
you're like, well, at least
I'm
there's
like,
a baby.
I'm gonna either eat this baby. I'm gonna eat this baby, or I'm gonna die. I would eat the baby. My
It's
God.
you locked in a room with the baby, and you're not going to let the baby survive. You're not going to let it grow.
The baby can't eat me. What, are we both gonna die?
If the baby ate you, it would live.
The baby can't eat me. It's a baby. If one of us is gonna eat the other one, it's gonna be me eating the baby.
Okay, hold on. So you can take a baby and feed it a jar of mush. You could take your hand and smash it into nothingness. Let's see, the baby wouldn't survive if you starved and died. Come on. Okay, feed yourself to the baby. Yeah, stick your finger in his throat, chop it off, and then hope that the
Are
baby
we
doesn't
talking
choke.
first trimester?
First trimester, yeah, exactly. You're pregnant with a
Or
baby.
newborn?
Oh, okay. So, are we talking about the baby still in the womb, or the baby is freshly born?
I don't know what.
So you're saying first trimester, or is it first trimester post birth?
I can't take care of the baby. I eat the baby, breastfeed it. Wait, but does breastfeeding actually work if you didn't have the baby yourself? Will your body, like...
I watched videos of
I've heard
of
that
doggies that feed baby kitties because they didn't have a mama.
No, that's not my question. Like, okay, I've never had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a baby here and the only way for it to survive was breast milk, would my body actually produce that just because there was a biological need for it? Or would I actually have had to give birth to a baby in order to have that?
Has your milk core been activated?
Right. Is it only activated by pregnancy and birth?
In the diagrams that I've drawn, yes. Yeah, because it's frozen inside your breast in the moment.
Frozen.
Yeah, they're frozen. They're
frozen.
little cold gobstoppers.
I have cold gobstoppers in my breast.
Basically, and so, but the moment that the sperm
You can
goes in,
self-induce lactation.
okay,
Interesting.
But see, the moment the sperm goes into your body, one sperm goes into the egg, right? Where do the rest go? Whoop! They go all the way up the body.
Oh,
they hit the milk
so
core.
Wait, you're telling me that
they
the
warm
baby
it up.
drinks sperm?
Well, it's not sperm, but I mean, why do you think milk is white? I'm just.
I can't do this.
I know you can't.
We have to-
John, no. This is gonna continue.
Lucas, oh my god.
I have a whole sketchbook that has a bunch of things about the milk core. Something that I made up. And then one day I was explaining it to a friend, and she was like, "Do you actually believe that?" And I was like, "No, I know it."
No, I'm just John.
Yeah, I
know
know
it.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
it. No,
I
don't
invented
believe
it.
I know
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Oh, God.
No, I just like making up silly things, and sometimes people believe me.
Ugh.
And Harvard is requesting your location. Yeah, well, I got a big old grant coming my way. I'm really pumped for that.
Good. Can I be part of? Can I be a subject?
Yeah, you don't get any money, but you can be. We'll examine the milk core philosophy.
No, leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Is this how the podcast ends? With me leaving you alone, no money for you. LOL.
Oh my God.
Oh, you guys are fantastic. I'm sorry that we're just talking about the dumbest. Like an hour ago, this is poignant and
significant.
I want to help you, and I still do. But if there's nothing to talk about, this is what happens. Now Michelle just gets to eat the baby.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is you'd eat a baby.
That's the bottom line is I get what I want. I want to eat a baby. I get to.
Anything that I desire.
If I want to eat a baby, I get to eat a baby. It's the only medically cleared way.
That's true.
Yeah.
Any doctor would tell you.
Yeah, any doctor would be like, you know what? I sign off.
Any doctor, if you get a dentist or a pediatrician or a proctologist, they all give the same answer.
Or a medicine man.
Or a witch doctor.
A witch doctor.
Yeah, they would all tell you the same thing. Yeah, exactly. Eat that baby, is what they would say.
Yeah.
This is a no-brainer.
God.
It's 11:30.
It is. It's 11:30.
I'm very tired. My eyes hurt. My head is starting to hurt a little bit again.
We will figure out much better next week the technological stuff so that we don't spend the first 7 minutes baffled.
So, quick question for you guys. Anybody, especially who's real quick. Michelle, I'm doing my best to choose love, but family members that are toxic, I have a hard time allowing them back in my life.
Was it last week we were talking about that?
I think so, because she messaged me and said that she had been watching.
That is really, really tough.
That's a tough one.
When we're talking family members that are toxic, that's not an easy topic.
I can't remember if it was last week or the week before. I feel like it was last week about being able to let go of people no matter your proximity with them. Yeah, it was last week. If they are damaging you, pain and damage are the two separate things.
If they're truly actually unhealthy for you and debilitating, and you're noticing that there's a degradation of your own health.
There's no obligation to stay inside that.
There's not. And I understand, socially there is, this idea that, oh, it's your mother, oh, it's your brother, oh, you should stay forever and ever.
Yeah.
But if somebody is bad for you, no.
And that's a hard thing to do, but it should be imperative to know that your well-being still outweighs that proximity.
It has to.
And maybe
because nobody's going to do it for you.
Yeah.
And if you have a toxic family member, you know that they are more than willing, unfortunately, to toxify you.
Yeah.
They will do so at the expense of you. They'll do whatever it is they need to do. And how long can that be allowed? I mean, everybody gets to make that decision, but I mean, personally, and I'm not going to say this is a positive thing. I'm really quick to sever people. I'm very quick. So if somebody is toxic family member or not, I'm rapid.
So quick question for you then on that front, because I have a friend who's going through something sort of similar with this, with a family member they haven't spoken to in 15 years, because at that time, tremendously toxic. Just recently, this person contacted them and it was like, listen,
I realized
I'm sorry.
Okay.
But there was still like a small sort of underhandedness of, not quite asking for forgiveness, but it was like, mostly like, I know I was wrong. I know I did this and that and the other thing, but I still stand by a little bit of it. And so it sounds like it's mostly good, but it's still kind of like, do you need to let that back in, or should you at least give it a shot and say, let me see where it's actually
You're talking
at?
15 years?
About 15 years.
That's a heart listen. That's a heart listen. That's an intuitive listen. Ask your gut, ask your heart.
And if it still doesn't feel right, no obligation.
No. It doesn't matter if somebody tells you, oh, I've changed, or I get it.
Right.
You know what? Even if someone has, that doesn't make obligation. That doesn't.
You still don't have to.
No.
Okay.
That doesn't create obligation either.
That makes sense.
What we do really has to be based on what helps me be the best person that I can bring forward into the world. If it is not that person, no, it's not that person.
Kevin even said, you guys said something last week that stuck with me. Don't take care of someone who's not willing to take care of themselves. I might be paraphrasing, but yeah, that's the gist of it. Someone who refuses to want to better themselves, that's a very hard position to be put in.
Don't do for someone what they can and should do for themselves. Never.
Yeah.
Never.
And it's very admirable and desirable to be altruistic and loving and wonderful as best you can. but also you have to realize that sometimes
some people really will choose to drown.
Yeah.
Some people will choose that, and if that's somebody that you are hell bent on helping, on being there for, you're gonna go down with them too.
And a lyric that we've discussed dozens upon dozens of times in this podcast.
The greatest of teachers won't hesitate to leave you there by yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. From Live, the album Throwing Copper, yes. I Alone, I believe.
I Alone.
It's a great song. Great song.
The greatest of teachers won't hesitate to leave you there by yourself.
Yeah, it's a really important thing to remember is that you don't have to be obligated to literally anybody.
Yeah, Jen, don't do for someone something that they're not willing to do for themselves.
Both of you are bright lights, much appreciated. It's we've just learned a lot from each other, a lot of experience, a lot of and from wonderful people like this. I mean,
and from you guys.
From you guys, that's just as important as being here every week and talking to the chat room and getting insights and getting perspectives and getting people who are forthcoming with their own tales of sadness or hardship or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That is enlightening. That is something that is a gift. To trust somebody enough to open up to hand that to them, that's special.
Mm-hmm.
And that grows me to be trusted enough to allow that in and, to wish to even just listen to somebody. I think it's beneficial for both parties.
Yeah.
I think I learn a lot and I grow a lot simply by being accessible by others.
Well, and regarding that question about a toxic family member, I mean, we're not family members, but we're just as close, if not closer, than a lot of family members. And there have been times that we've been toxic for one another, and to sever one another has been the best thing we could do for one another.
Yeah.
And I've learned just as much from you in those times as times when we were in frequent contact.
Sure.
If one of us was doing something based on our own highest good, it was always the right thing. Always. No matter what.
And in the duration of our relationship, because effectively it was 10 years ago, we started really hanging out and where all of this blossomed from. We'd known each other since middle school, and that's been fantastic. But it really, like the past decade has been where all of this has flourished.
Right.
And in all of that, you and I have grown to love each other, I mean, beyond comprehension in every way that human beings can. But when it was necessary for you to say, I have to step away, you didn't hesitate.
No.
And if you look back at this now, we stepped apart for however long was necessary, and now we're back to, and every single time it's like tempered steel. It's stronger and stronger.
It is.
Yes,
I mean, it's there is something that happens indestructibly when you're willing to actually step away from something. What is it that I read the other day? Falling in love with yourself first doesn't make you vain or selfish. It makes you indestructible. You and I have always allowed one another to do that.
Yeah.
Every time you come back stronger, you're better for me.
Yeah.
Every time I come back stronger, I'm better for you. Yeah.
And it's important to acknowledge that not every time will that relationship with somebody come back.
No.
But you become better.
Yes. I mean, there are people I've let go of that they'll never come back, and even if they did, even if they could, even if they were completely different, I can't and they can't because of that. Because my answer would be no.
Absolutely.
And because of where I've come to. So I think there has to be an allowance that we give ourselves. Whatever in your heart, in your gut, in your intuition is the highest good for you, give it to yourself. No matter what anybody tells you about it being selfish, anything like that. You are not the best thing that you can bring to the world if you are serving other people's egos or other people's desires or other people's concept of what you should be made of above what you're made of. You have to serve that. You have to. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody else can even identify it except for you. Yeah.
It's literally a disservice to the world that you are in if you are not giving the best of yourself that you can give.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Toxic Avenger.
Byron is the Toxic Avenger. He's not related to him. He is him. You need to be happy and love yourself before you can do that to one another every time.
Yeah.
Every time. There's no exception.
That might be the most important cliche that has ever...
Yeah.
I think.
Love yourself. It is truly...
It's the most true thing.
The most important.
We all grew up hearing it, rolling our eyes.
It's easy to dismiss because it's so common.
Then you grow up and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask a quick question, though. For anybody who was here last week versus anybody who was here this week, how would you actually say the video quality and the audio is? Because we're streaming from my phone right now, which is fine. And if this ends up actually being a better venue than using the computer and this whole setup,
we can do that.
this is fine with me. I just want to check and see because this is also a lot less effort. But if it's a better overall product, we'll do that. But I just wanted to check and get some information and feedback from you guys to see.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing this weekly, so we do need to.
Yes, we want to make sure we have a proprietary, well set up situation.
And if this is the way we do it, we can do it anywhere.
Anywhere. That's true. We could go to the park. We could go to a sewer. We could go
The
to.
Ninja Turtles.
We could go to. They're in New York, so that's very far away. We could fly to New York.
We could fly to New York and do this with the Ninja Turtles.
Let's see. I wasn't here last week, but no complaints.
Okay.
It sounds like it's good. This might just be the way to go, especially with volume, because eventually I'm going to be pulling all these and putting them on the podcast website so people can listen to them later. Let's see. The first few minutes, this was better.
This was better. Okay.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah,
It's good to know.
that is good to know. This just might be the easier way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than the
First few minutes. Oh yeah, well that was also on the computer that was giving a problem. I feel that even just looking at this, it already seems like more stable.
It is,
And if-
yeah.
if-
And again, we apologize.
Yeah, sorry. Not
Yeah.
sorry enough to not have done it, but sorry that it was an
Yeah,
issue.
we're not going to go back and make it better.
Yeah, I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to go back in time and,
Nope.
more stable. Cool.
Or-
So yeah, this is probably just a
Okay.
better way to go,
Yeah.
and I could just bring like a charger and a whatever.
good.
So
Alright.
that makes it much easier because lugging this thing around is actually kind of a pain in the ass. So
Yeah.
cool.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Well, great. I mean, we're approaching 100 minutes here. It's almost midnight. You know?
Wow. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You know what they say? It's always midnight somewhere. You heard that? That's one of my favorite. That's probably a better cliche than love yourself.
And right now it's here.
And right now, it's almost, we're on the cusp of midnight and...
It is time to go to sleep.
But I think this was good. A couple weird tangents here and there, but that's kind of the charm of it.
Yes?
You know, that's what
Yep.
makes it so fun is we just get to be silly and have fun, but also, you know, as serious conversations and questions come up, absolutely we'll discuss and, you know, make
And
this a
we
priority.
can talk about this more next week too.
Yeah.
I mean, because this was something that I received yesterday, and I did some thinking about it, and it's something that would require probably a little more thinking to really answer.
Sure, give and you know what, you guys take the week to think about it and you know see how well it resonates with you, and if you have any more thoughts that you want to contribute next week, we'll be doing the same time. Let us know what has changed. You know what makes more sense then than now.
Yeah.
For all of us, you know, give it, mull it over.
And codependency is never a topic that loses its importance. It's something always to be aware of.
Yeah, Jonathan Jamiroquai Sakura and Michelle Macho Man Morgan. That's kind of cool.
Hell
Brooks
yeah.
Eckert says, "Hey,
Hi.
I'm sorry that we're just about to leave. We've been doing this for almost
But watch it.
100 minutes. But yeah, I mean, it'll save to the.
Don't watch the first 6
YouTube.
minutes.
The first 6 minutes are us struggling to make sure everything works.
Yeah, don't
Oh, well.
bother with those. Minute 7, maybe? I
Sorry.
don't know. I'll have to go look at it.
You know,
Anyway, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. That's true.
it is. You know where?
No.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Night,
That's pretty
guys.
cool. All right, have a good night. Thank you guys so
night.
much for joining us,
We love
and
you.
we love you very much. We'll be back next week.
Yep.
10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Mountain
I don't know
Standard Time.
what time zone we were in, but
I think it's that one.
all right, sounds good. Cool. Thank you so much. We love you guys absolutely, and we'll be back again.
Yep.
Until next time.
Bueno. Night.